In this tutorial, you'll learn how you can tackle the problem of graphics that should scale across multiple screen sizes and orientations. Take a look at the top left and bottom left corner of the app we have created so far and how they're supposed to look like. You see? The top left corner should be a little smaller in height and should scale until it reaches this title here. Well, we could provide a different graphic that's just as tall and just as wide as this item here, but look if I change the orientation to landscape. You see now the graphics should scale without getting deformed. Okay, let's try it. You already know how to make an element take up the remainder of the screen. So let's get right into this navbar by double-clicking on it. Right now it's this text view that greedily takes up the remaining space of the screen. So click on it. And there we have at MISC, layout white, 1. I delete this. And now it behaves a little less greedy. And now I click on this image view and enter the layout weight 1 here. Look what happens. Okay, right now the image is centered. It's not scaled. So let's scroll to the property scale type and choose fit XY, which means the image will be scaled in both dimensions, which will make it look like this. Or in context of the whole application, like this. Oh, I gotta save it first. Click on title area, save. Go to main.xml. Yeah, that's exactly what we don't need. See this distortion? Okay, now here comes the solution. We should provide a graphics that knows how to scale, which means it should know how to preserve those arcs without distortion and shrink or scale those straight areas here. Well, graphics that do that are called 9 scales, and Android has a tool for that. So switch to Explorer or the Finder and find the directory of Android, like here in Android SDK Windows in this case. There we have a folder called Tools. Double-click on it, and there you'll find a file called draw9patch. Double-click on it to open it. There it is. Now resize the Eclipse windows a little, like this, and drag the image over to the draw9patch window. This is here, corner orange title top left. I'll drop it here. And now it's loaded. I'll maximize the window. Now we have 2 views. One is the graphics and one is an overview. Now this graphic scales right now. You see the distortion here and here. Now look at the edges of this graphics. You see the image ends here, and here's another row of pixels and another column of pixels. That's where you define the area where this graphic should stretch. If you look closely, you'll see that 2 or 3 of the rightmost pixels are straight. So if I draw 2 pixels on the far right end of the upper edge, something happens. Look at this. Now, as you can see, the right end stretches as it should, which doesn't do anything here. But in this case, when it has become only wider, it behaves exactly as it should. And to do the same for the vertical dimension, I insert my pixels on the left edge, like this. I just drag down like this. Okay, now you can see that this image just behaves as it should when scaled. You can also display the patches by clicking on that checkbox, Show Patches. And then you see the patches you have defined. But this tool also allows you to look at the patches you created. And if I click Show Bad Patches, it will alert me if I have defined a scalable area that doesn't scale well. In this case, I have included the bottom edge of this arc. So I hold Shift and delete the topmost pixel. Now the red frame disappears, telling me that everything is all right and the image scales well. But that's not all. I can also say if I want to use this image as a background for a view that contains content, for example, a text view, and if I want, for example, the bottom 8 pixels to remain as a padding, I can also define the content area in the bottom edge. Let's click on Show Content. Without any pixels on the right and bottom edge, it assumes the whole area is available for content. But if I draw some pixels here, you'll see that it restricts the content area to this blue stripe here. That should be sufficient for us. Now I go to File, Save 9patch, find an image folder you can just use, or you can directly export this to the folder of your project. Let's go there, local disk, users, trainer, workspace, DT4000, res, drawable MDPI. And I'll take the same name, corner orange title top left, click Save. No warning that something has been overwritten. Let's see why. Because both versions coexist. I click on drawable MDPI, hit F5 to refresh. There you see, I have 2 versions of the same graphics, One has the extension .png and the other one has a .9 right before the extension. And Android tells me, well, you're not allowed to do this. You can't redeclare this asset. And you already know that Android ignores the extensions. So for Android, this is duplicate content. Two assets with the same name, regardless of the extension. So to resolve this, I simply delete this one, the unscaled version, click on OK. And look what happened, now it's scaled properly. One final check, click on Portrait, and turn it to Landscape. And there it is. Go back to Portrait. I'll leave changing this graphics to a 9-scale graphics for you as an exercise. Now you know how you can create scalable graphics with the help of this Draw 9 Patch program.